What does the spirit of Jezebel look like inside of a relationship and in your singleness? Let's take a look.
Jezebel. Everybody wants to talk about Jezebel and call people Jezebel, so let's discuss who she really is and what it looks like within your relationship. First, I'm going to go through what Jezebel looks like in a relationship. Then I will go through what Jezebel looks like as a single person seeking a date. So in a relationship, these are features that may not necessarily guarantee, but strongly indicate that you could be dealing with a person who's under the influence of a Jezebel spirit. The first thing I will say is this: Jezebel is not just in a woman. You could be a woman dealing with a man who deals with a Jezebel spirit. You could be a man dealing with a woman who has a Jezebel spirit. I will say that it's more prominent in women, but it's not exclusive to women. The first thing that Jezebel does, all right, she seeks control through a manipulative state. Jezebel never comes out the gate and wants to control everything that you do. She appeals in the form of whatever your requirements are. She always knows what to do, when to do it, as far as what makes you feel comfortable. She wants to know what traumatized you. She wants to know what has gotten into your heart and caused you to be the way that you are today, so that she can cater towards those feelings and emotions. Reason being is because that will later be used for manipulation tactics. Now, this is not to say that when a person gets involved with you, that is what their motive is. That's what the underlying spirit behind them wants to do. They could be genuine in their intentions, but if they're being influenced by this spirit, that is what will happen. She will use your deepest, darkest secrets to appeal to you in a way that makes you feel like she's different. That's why when she gets to doing what she's doing and starts to manipulate your mind and you starts to be toxic, now you call back on how good he or she has been to you. If you notice, people commonly say, man, I understand, just like we've been through so much, he gets me, she gets me. That is why she wants to build the trust, so that when she betrays you, you now fall back on a time that gives you a misinterpretation of who she truly is. The next thing that I want to do, Jezebel cannot go without sex. Jezebel cannot go without sex. Jezebel cannot go without sex. If you are in a relationship with a person, they want to be physically tied to you. That is a part of the manipulation. Through a soul tie, a person now has the mental capability of manipulating you down different avenues to where you're blinded to reality. Sex blinds you. God made sex for the bed of marriage so that we could now be able to look at our partner and accept the things that bother us due to the fact that we have a soul tie with them. Sex was meant for that purpose in a healthy way. But when you do it outside of marriage, you get with a person who's being under the influence of a Jezebel spirit. They now use sex as a tool to mask the things that they're doing to you. The third thing that I will say, Jezebel is a gaslighter. Jezebel never admits when she's wrong. Jezebel sometimes comes in the form, almost all the time, comes in the form of not being apologetic. This is the sort of apology that you'll get from a person who's dealing with a Jezebel spirit. I'm sorry that you feel like XYZ. I didn't mean to make you feel like this or that. I'm sorry. They never apologize for what they did. They'll only apologize for how they made you feel. They'll only apologize for specific, small, different details in the situation, but never the actual cause and root of what's wrong. They'll never apologize for their actions. Keep that in mind. They do not apologize for their actions. The last thing that I will say, in a relationship, Jezebel is a master of false humility. Jezebel will make you upset, and when you get to a point where Jezebel understands that she or he cannot calm you down, what they do is they'll apologize. They'll even make a promise to you of change. They will start to look like they're changing, and then they revert back. Pay attention to a person who continuously apologizes. They give you hope that things are going to change, and then they go back to what they do. That is a potential, that is a go-to for Jezebel. That is what a person does, once again, to call back on the fact that you see something in them, when the fact of the matter is, it's not going to change. Now, for the people who are single, I will make this very clear and easy for you. You don't have to know all of the ins and outs to a Jezebel spirit immediately as a single person. What you do have to know is this: maintain your sexual purity. Do not defile your body. Don't go into the environments that she dwells in. Now, men specifically, if you have been called to lead, Jezebels are going to come to you. You don't even have to go into a place where they're going to come to you, because fact of the matter is there's also women in church who struggle with Jezebel spirits, because Jezebel's biggest assignment is within the church to defile and break up the church so that the kingdom of God will not be able to expand. That's something for a later date in a different video. I got it from a book that I read about Jezebel. But as a single person, man or woman, maintain your abstinence journey. It will reveal every person to you who operates in a demonic spirit through their actions, because they cannot abstain from sex in a fashion that allows for their flaws to not be evident. I will make it that very clear and simple. If y'all want me to expand more on that, please let me know. But I want y'all to be safe out here. There's a lot of people who are operating under demonic spirits, and Jezebel is ruling the romance industry. She's ruling the industry of romance, both in the TV, the media, and also in private, in the household. Please do not give in to the Ahab spirit, which is compatible. I can also talk about that if y'all want me to, but y'all be blessed.
I love this video, and I completely agree. This is why we have to be dating and courting with wisdom. We cannot be out here just dating off of potential and what they could possibly be. We have to study the fruit, all right? We have to be aware of what their fruit is. I said this in another video. If their fruit is rotten, it's not our job to refresh their fruit. That's not our job or our responsibility. So when you're dating and courting, make sure that you date based off of patterns, because a person will tell you who they truly are if you stick around long enough and you walk in that purity like he talked about. What are your thoughts? What are your comments? Put them down below, and listen, I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.